All right, everybody, we have head coach Pat Noonan. Coach, let's start with your thoughts on tonight's win.
Certainly an important win for our group. Wasn't the prettiest on our side in terms of, the ideas with the ball and maintaining possession and being able to create. That wasn't the game tonight. So while that wasn't there, I thought for the most part we defended really solid. I thought the center backs were excellent. Roman did a good job in goal. And I say center backs because they dealt with a lot of crosses in the box. They dealt with runners and in a really intelligent way. And I thought, the most important thing was to just walk off the field with 3 points, regardless of how it looked. And, that's a credit to the group. It's a good response to last weekend, and we had a good week of training that translated to a good result, despite us not being at our best.
Go to questions, go to Laurel.
It's been a tough stretch for you guys. Is there a sense of relief in this one for you at all?
Yeah, I think that's fair. But at the same time, it's how you go about doing it that maybe the relief, can feel a little different. I would say the win was nice. That feels good. But you could see we weren't great on the night, and so there's this sense of there's more, and that's a good thing too. So I think you have a little bit of both, but we needed to win a game, and we did.
Nick Hagglund's been close on several corner kicks before. What were your thoughts just finally seeing him break through and get on the score sheet for you guys tonight?
Yeah, it feels like it's been coming for a while. He's done a really good job of putting himself in position to finish plays off on set pieces. And credit to, my staff. They work really hard in trying to come up with ways that we can create opportunities off of set pieces. I think we do a good job of trying to identify our strengths in those moments and setting up some plays to get them in front of goal to finish off plays. And, it was good to see Nick finally finish one off.
Pat, wanted to ask you about the weather. I know you guys, this is a game that you play through rain, right? Or this is a sport that you play through rain. But was it a little unnerving for you to know, because of the significance of the game, that you guys would have to combat the weather? And it did seem like that made it a little bit choppy the first 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, I think early on when you have conditions like that, you want to play safe and just try to find a rhythm in the game. So I think that was a little bit of the mentality early on and where you saw us having poor touches, poor turnovers. That also didn't allow us to get into a rhythm. So, it got better, not great, but better towards the end of the first half. But I do think it's fair to say that, with how the results have been going, with maybe the nerves in coming into this game and knowing the importance of 3 points at home, that our touch was off. The movement was a little slow. Instead of being a little bit more aggressive in how we move forward, it was playing it a little safe and preparing for transition moments. But I do think we defended pretty well under the circumstances. Footing becomes an issue. I thought that wasn't a factor in the game, and I thought the clearances, the way we dealt with things in and around our box was pretty solid under the conditions.
When you look at how the back line seemed to take a step forward week over week, do you observe in training that these guys are just getting more comfortable with each other, especially with Matt being new to the group?
Yeah, I would say that's true. Matt's come in and helped us in a lot of ways, certainly with some goals, but I think defensively you can see his understanding of the game and how he communicates to his teammates around him and how he reads plays to know when to release off the line, when to protect the space behind. He's been a really important addition to our group, and I think you see his quality on display in a lot of different ways.
For week over week, for you guys to pick yourselves up from the Columbus result, did you do or say anything different from other instances when you guys had to rebound off of a result that was less than you wanted? Anything different about how you guys bounced back this week?
No, unfortunately, it was a lot of repetitive comments about, seeing out games and how we can do it in a more efficient way. But what I said was this one felt different. So last week felt different in how we lost points and who we lost points to at home. So early on in the week, it was how are we going to respond? And I thought our first day of training back was outstanding. And that kind of set the tone just for, all right, this is the character of the group. They're ready to get back to work and try to right the ship. And so a lot of credit to them for their response and keeping their heads up and understanding, we're still very much in it. And I think the result showed.
Okay. For tonight's game, Ronald Matarrita was held out. Do you see him working into the team for the next few games?
We're taking that day by day. He had a really good first week back, but he's been off for a long time, and we have to make sure that each day we kind of assess where he's at in his return. So there's no date in mind that we're looking to get him on the field. It's how do we make sure that we progress him in a way where whenever that moment comes, it's him moving forward in a strong way. So we're just mindful of the amount of time he's been off and how long he's been with the group, but he's had a great approach and a great mentality in his first week back.
Following up on that, if the weather conditions had been a little different, would you have maybe seen him getting a few minutes, just ease him in that way, or did the weather?
The weather had nothing to do with it. It was just where he was at physically.
And then I know we had talked before last week's game about just getting the most out of your, top players, I guess. I'm just wondering, because Luciano Acosta, it had been a while since he'd scored. He's obviously been contributing to goals, but just how important is it to see a guy like that getting on the score sheet again? And have there been any just asks of him as you guys are getting into this stretch, just being your captain and just the role he plays?
The ask is that he continues to be a leader out on the field with his play. He came up with a big goal in a big moment. I think that was one of our best sequences of pressing higher up the field. We were kind of inconsistent in that, and Yuya does a really good job of reading the play and creating a turnover that allows Lucho to finish off the play. So a lot of why we look to press higher up the field, especially at home, is to create moments where he's on the ball in dangerous areas. And, you saw the end result. So the ask is that he continues to play in a way where he leads the team in an important stretch with an important goal in mind in a few weeks' time.
Thanks, Pat.
All right, good. Thank you.
Been able to do that, just how that feel to be able to come away with the clean sheet tonight?
It's more importantly we got the win, so that's what matters at the end of the day. If we're scoring more than the other team, that's all that matters. But a clean sheet's a representation of a whole team effort defensively. So we'd like to get more of those, but it's a step in the right direction that we got one tonight.
These games start to feel like, they're all important, but as you guys are heading into the last 6 games now, only 2 more at home, how big did this one feel? Even though maybe it wasn't the best game that you guys had played, how important did this feel for you guys to get back above that playoff line and kind of push Charlotte a little further down?
Yeah, at this point in the season, it's so tight in the race. Every game matters so much, so you can't look too far ahead, because if you start looking ahead, then maybe you'll say, we can maybe pick up points later on. We can afford to take our foot off the gas a little, but that's not how it is. And we're approaching every game like it's a playoff game, and that it's a must-win, because we need to do everything that we can to make sure we hopefully can get in the playoffs. So I mean, yeah, this game was huge for us tonight, and I'm just happy that we came out with 3 points.
Coach Noonan was just talking about how big the center backs came up, and he mentioned you as well, obviously, but he mentioned just kind of how comfortable those guys seem to be playing together, and they were getting a lot of crosses into them today. How have you seen that group kind of take shape and not take shape, but just come along just these last few weeks since Matt's been in the group?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when there's some rotation in the back line, you're going to question if the team, if they can work together, because obviously a big part of center backs is the relationships and knowing certain tendencies. So I mean, Matt's come in brilliantly. Just ever since he stepped in, it seems like the team just, it seems like it hasn't dropped a beat. The boys just gotten better each week, and yeah, they're massive tonight. A lot of big blocks, big clearances, and just they're in the right spots at the right time to prevent any chances.
Did Nick talk about cutting his hair now that he has his goal?
I think that was a big thing out there in the air for a while. So I mean, hopefully. He said he was going to do it once he got one, and finally got it after this whole season. Every game, it's like, oh, he has a chance. Oh, it's so close. Oh, it's called off. Oh, it goes over. It's like, he finally got it. So, perfect timing for us because we needed that 3 points tonight.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The running joke might be, how's the hair?
It's feeling lighter already. It's good. It's going off soon. I'm glad that I got to grow it this long to be able to donate it. So that's fun.
How short do you want to
I'm gonna
go?
it.
Buzz it.
Yeah, why not? Give as much to some kid as possible.
Fair enough.
Is it lots of love? Is that
I think wigs for kids. I still need. I think that's the one though.
Can you tell us about the goal? I didn't. Did you head it in, or did it go off
Actually,
your foot?
it went off my. It went off my knee.
Yeah.
I kind of. Me and Matt had some success working off each other, and I went near post there. The gap opened up for me, and I just put my body on the line, whatever I could get. I was close enough to go to anything was going to put it in.
How did it feel to finally get one?
Oh, so good. I mean, it's been coming. It's been too long. 4 or 5 chances that I think I should have probably been in the back of the net with either a good goalie save or a deflection or whatever. But no, it was nice to finally get one. It's nice to be a game winner, and I knew it would be an important one, so I was just glad to the team to get 3 points.
Did you see it go in, or were you?
Oh, I watched it go in.
Okay.
No, I watched it go. No. It was all purposeful. I just had to get something on it. It could have been my foot. I felt like my knee was going to be the fastest thing to get something on frame.
To get a goal like that in a game where you guys, I know, maybe didn't feel like you guys were playing your best for the first 30 minutes or so. What did it mean to be able to contribute in that way to an important win?
Yeah, I mean, it's a playoff environment for us, and sometimes you're not going to play your best soccer on the day, but you're going to win games off of set pieces and doing the dirty work kind of thing. So for me, I'm just happy that we got the 3 points. That we're above the playoff line right now, and then looking forward to the next game.
What was the message going into this game after all these games where late goals have been sort of, making wins draws?
Yeah, it was just focus, concentration, 90-plus minutes. I think a total group effort, offensively and defensively. We do everything together, and so I think just focusing on the little plays, no matter what, all the way until the final whistle was our focus. We know we have the talent to win games. We just have to make sure that we're concentrated for 90 minutes.
What does this do for the psyche of the team relative to the playoff race, Nick? Do you got? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, it's been interesting. The group has been really interesting this year in terms of just being, very even keeled, regardless of what happens with refs or what the results are, how we have tied. Losing the game late or whatever. The group has been so even keeled, ready to go for the next day of training, that I think we're just focused on the next game. And so we're happy. We're happy with the result tonight, but we're just on to the next one. Show up for work, ready to grind, and see what our body of work looks like at the end of regular season.
Coach Noonan had mentioned how many crosses you guys had to deal with, the center back specifically, and just how well you guys have been playing together. How do you feel like things have been with Matt coming into the group?
I think Matt has done a great job. He's such a solid defender, does all the little things right. On the day he's gonna give you his best effort always, and so it's been great to have him in the back. just contributed. I think we felt solid every game that we've played together. I feel like we've gotten better and better. Obviously, he's contributed on the score sheet, so maybe that inspired me a little bit. But you know, he's done well to keep us in games and help us. So it's been a really welcomed addition, and just you know, I think the more games, I think you're going to see him get better and better.
Do you value a clean sheet or a goal?
Clean sheet. But I value 3 points the most. So whatever. If it's a goal and we lose, it's not worth it. You know, a goal and we win, 3 points, that's good. But I love a clean sheet. I love, you know, feeling like the group's gelling and working together for 90 minutes to get that. So I think that's important for the group.
Can I ask you one about the weather? Just obviously soccer is a sport that is played in the rain when it needs to be, but just knowing how important this game was going to be in the big picture of the season, is it a little unnerving knowing that you'd have to contend with some inclement weather as well?
Honestly, I loved it. I thought it felt like a playoff game to me. You know, like those are the conditions. Usually it's like late October, playoff conditions, rainy, anything happens, a bit cold, you know. I thought the rain kind of added to the psyche of the game a little bit. You know, it's not going to be pretty, you know, it's going to be a scrappy game. And so for me, I rather enjoyed it.
Cool.
I had kind of a different question because the fans, I guess they kind of changed their routines. They wanted to get here for warm-ups and kind of be more of a presence for you guys. I know it was a little different because of the weather, so I don't know how much you felt that, but did you notice anything different?
Yeah, no, I saw him come out. I saw him being loud. You know, I enjoy the atmosphere and getting ready for the game. That kind of gives you a little, you know, a little bit of boost when you feel the drums going, you feel the crowd coming in. So yeah, I think I enjoyed it.
Cool.
Tell me
Thanks a lot, Nick.
When it's